Good afternoon. This is All India Radio. I am Anuja Kumar and with me is VC Pramod with the Midday News. The headlines. Union Home Minister Amit Shah speaks to Chief Ministers, seeks their views on future strategy in fight against COVID-19. COVID recovery rate improves to 42.88%. Over 71,000 patients cured so far. A total of 449 domestic flights operated on day 3 of resumption of airline services in the country. Railways appeals to people with comorbidities, pregnant women, children below 10 years and persons above 65 years of age to avoid travel by trains. Over 2 lakh metric tons of food grains lifted by the states for May and June. And 20 districts of Rajasthan affected by locust attacks. State administration engage in control activities. Home Minister Amit Shah spoke to all chief ministers yesterday regarding the COVID-19 situation in states and union territories. He invited their suggestions on the future strategy to deal with the pandemic and the lockdown, which is scheduled to end on the 31st of May. Cabinet Secretary Rajiv Gauba held a meeting yesterday with municipal commissioners and district magistrates of 13 COVID-19 hit cities to take a review of the situation. The meeting bears significance as these 13 cities are considered to be the worst novel coronavirus-affected locations and constitute about 70% of the positive cases in the country. The cities are Mumbai, Chennai, Delhi, Ahmedabad, Thane, Pune, Hyderabad, Kolkata, Indore, Jaipur, Jodhpur, Chengalpattu and Tiruvallur. The chief secretaries of all the concerned states and union territories attended the meeting. A report.
The measures taken by the officials and the staff of the municipal corporations for the management of COVID-19 cases were reviewed during the meeting. The central government has already issued guidelines on management of COVID-19 in urban settlements. Highlights of this strategy include work on high-risk factors, indices such as confirmation rate, fatality rate, doubling rate, and tests per million people. Centre has stressed that containment zones are to be geographically defined based on factors like mapping of cases and contacts and their geographical dispersion. This would enable in demarcating a well-defined perimeter and enforcing the strict protocol of lockdown. The cities are advised that the area should be appropriately defined by the district administration and local urban body with technical inputs from local level. With Divakar, Suparna Saikia, AIR News, Delhi.
Civil Aviation Minister Hardeep Singh Puri today said a total of 494 domestic flights carried 38,078 passengers yesterday. All scheduled passenger flights were suspended in the country from the 25th of March to 24th of May due to the coronavirus-induced lockdown. Domestic air services resumed on Monday, but international passenger flights continue to remain suspended in the country. Ministry of Railways has made an appeal that persons with comorbidities, pregnant women, children below 10 years and persons above 65 years of age should avoid travel by trains except when it is essential. The appeal was made in view of the few unfortunate cases of deaths related to pre-existing medical conditions while travelling have happened. The ministry said that Indian Railways has been running Shramik special trains on a daily basis throughout the country to ensure that migrants can travel back to their homes. It has been observed that some people who are availing the service have pre-existing medical conditions which aggravates the risk they face during the COVID-19 pandemic. It said Indian Railways is working 24/7 to ensure that rail services are provided to all the citizens of the country needing to travel. It said in case of any distress or emergency, passengers can reach out to the Railways helpline number 139 and 138.
The Indian Railways has decided to increase the advance reservation period from the existing 30 days to 120 days for all 30 special Rajdhani type trains operating since the 12th of May. It will also be applicable on all 200 special mail express which will start operations from the 1st of next month. These changes will be implemented with effect from 8 a.m. of the train booking date of 31st of this month onwards. It said booking of parcel and luggage will also be permitted in all these 230 trains. The ministry said the other terms and conditions such as current booking and Tatkal quota allocation of seats to roadside stations will be the same as in regular timetabled trains. Indian Railways has distributed more than 85 lakh free meals and about 1.25 crore free water bottles to migrants travelling in Shramik special trains since the 1st of May this year. Ministry of Railways said, subsequent to the Home Ministry order regarding movement of migrant workers, pilgrims, tourists, students and other persons stranded at different places, the Indian Railways has been operating Shramik special trains from the 1st of this month. The ministry said, till date, 3,736 Shramik special trains have been operationalized from various states, while about 67 are in the pipeline. So far, around 50 lakh migrants have been transported through Shramik special trains in 27 days. In addition to Shramik specials, the railways are running 15 pairs of special trains connecting New Delhi and plans to start 200 more timetable trains on 1st of June.
Government sources today clarified that there has been no recent contact between Prime Minister Narendra Modi and United States President Donald Trump. The clarification came after Mr. Trump said that he spoke to Mr. Modi over India's ongoing border row with China. Mr. Trump has also offered to mediate between India and China to resolve the border dispute. The sources said the last conversation between the two leaders was on the 4th of April this year on the subject of hydroxychloroquine. Yesterday, Ministry of External Affairs had also made it clear that New Delhi is directly in touch with Beijing through established mechanisms and diplomatic contacts. Health and Family Welfare Ministry said that a total 71,106 people affected with coronavirus have been cured and the recovery rate reached to 42.88% in the country. During the last 24 hours, 3,414 people have recovered and 7,466 fresh cases of COVID-19 have been reported, taking the total number of cases to 1,65,799. This is the highest spike in fresh cases since the outbreak of COVID-19 pandemic in India. Health Ministry said 175 deaths have been registered in the last 24 hours, taking the nationwide toll to 4,706.
The Indian Council of Medical Research ICMR said that a total 1,21,702 samples of coronavirus were tested in the last 24 hours. With this, the figure of total number of tests reached to 34,83,838 in the country. Meanwhile, ICMR is continuously scaling up its testing facilities for COVID-19 by giving approval to government and private laboratories. As of now, total 641 laboratories across India have been given approval to conduct the test for COVID-19, including 446 government laboratories and 195 private laboratory chains. 26 Bangladeshis were killed in the Libyan town Mizda, 180 kilometers south of the capital Tripoli, on Wednesday in a case of hostage killing by a gang of human traffickers. Bangladesh Foreign Minister Dr. A.K. Abdul Momen said that Bangladesh's ambassador to Libya confirmed that 26 people were shot dead, while 11 others with injuries were being treated in a hospital. Dr. Momen said that 38 Bangladeshis were taken hostage by the human traffickers, out of which one could escape unhurt, who conveyed the news to the Bangladeshi embassy in Tripoli. The survivor told the embassy officials that the human trafficking gang was torturing them for money. He informed that the captive Bangladeshis killed one of the hostage takers, after which the killings took place. Reuters reported that a total of 30 migrant hostages were killed in the attack, which included 4 Africans also. The war-ravaged Libya is a major hub for illegal immigrants heading to Europe, crossing the Mediterranean.
The News Services Division of All India Radio, in its bilingual live phone-in program today, will bring you a special discussion program on COVID-19. Dr. Proshun Chatterjee, senior physician with AIIMS, will participate in the discussion. Listeners can ask questions to the experts on toll-free telephone number 1800-115767. Repeat, 1800-115767. One can also ask questions on telephone number 011-2331-4444. Repeat, 011-2331-4444, and post queries on our Twitter handle at AIR News Alerts by hashtag AskAIR. This can be heard tonight on FM Gold channel and additional frequencies from 9:30 p.m. onwards. This program will also be available on our website newsonair.com and on our YouTube channel News on AIR Official. You can also follow us on the News on AIR app for updates. In Assam, a 236-bed super speciality COVID-19 treatment unit has become functional at Guwahati Medical College and Hospital. Health Minister Himanta Biswa Sharma and Minister of State Piyush Hazarika inaugurated the unit today. This will work as the super speciality block at the Guwahati Medical College and Hospital, which is equipped with 14 ultraviolet germicidal irradiation UGVI system. It will help in improving indoor air quality and bacteria management. Our correspondent reports that 800 active cases are reported in the state so far.
The stranded migrant labourers of Jharkhand are being aerially evacuated today through 2 private airlines flights from Leh in Ladakh. This has been done following the Supreme Court guidelines and setting an example through one of the most dedicated efforts put by the central and state governments. With the effort of the officials of Border Roads Organisation, Divisional Commissioner of Union Territory of Ladakh and nodal officers of Jharkhand, this proved to be a milestone in minimizing the plight being faced by migrant labourers stuck at far-off places of the country due to the lockdown. The first of its kind special service flight for the migrants is being flown fully by the efforts of the government officials. A report.
60 migrant labourers stuck in far-off places and living in extreme conditions of Batalik Kargil in Leh Ladakh are being airlifted for their homes through Indigo and SpiceJet flights today to Jharkhand. The state government has coordinated with officials of Border Road Organisation and the administration of the Union Territory to help these labourers fly back to their homes. Presently, the migrants have boarded the flight from Leh for New Delhi. They will be then ferried through chartered plane to Dumka. State government is mulling to bring back its denizens through ways and means after the central government gave a nod to start the flight services. The government has a database of 448 labourers stuck in Andaman and Nicobar Islands and 893 migrants in northeastern states of Tripura, Arunachal Pradesh, Manipur, Meghalaya, Nagaland and Sikkim. Efforts are put in by the state government for establishing coordination with the respective states, also to bring the migrants back safely. Chief Minister Hemant Soren has also tweeted thanking for the able support provided by the government to airlift the labourers to Jharkhand. Shilpi for AIR News from Ranchi.
The Karnataka government has requested the Civil Aviation Ministry to reduce the number of flights emanating from Maharashtra, Gujarat, Tamil Nadu, Madhya Pradesh and Rajasthan to Karnataka. The request to reduce air traffic to the state is made following the high number of COVID-19 cases prevalent there. The Law Minister J.C. Madhuswamy had said yesterday that the request is made with the sacred intention that there may not be adequate quarantine facilities if there is high turnout in a short span of time. He said similar restriction is imposed for people coming by road from these 5 states. In another development, the State Election Commission has postponed elections to 5,800 Gram Panchayats due to exceptional circumstances because of the pandemic. The tenure of these Gram Panchayats will end between June and August.
The centre has made allocation of 8 lakh metric tons food grains to 37 states and union territories for the months of May and June. According to FCI, against this allocation, so far over 2 lakh metric tons of food grains have been lifted by the states. The minister directed the FCI to coordinate with the states to expedite the lifting of food grains. Union Minister for Consumer Affairs, Food and Public Distribution Ram Vilas Paswan chaired the review meeting yesterday with the Food Corporation of India's zonal executive directors and regional general managers on the distribution and procurement of food grains through video conferencing. The minister said under Pradhan Mantri Garib Kalyan Anna Yojana, the centre has made allocation of over 120 lakh metric ton food grains to the states for the month of April, May and June 2020. During the meeting, FCI informed that against this allocation, around 96 lakh metric ton food grains have been lifted by the states and UTs. He said West Bengal government has requested 11,800 metric tons rice stock in view of the Amphan cyclone, but no requirement of food grains has been intimated by the Odisha government till date. Mr. Paswan, while reviewing the allocation of food grains under the Atmanirbhar Bharat package for stranded migrants, said that Mr. Paswan FCI should coordinate with these states' governments and appraise the latest status of food grains. Mr. Paswan also lauded the role of FCI during the lockdown and said food grain movement has been set at an all-time high. FCI has undertaken record loading, unloading and transportation of food grains during the lockdown period. He said, on the other hand, procurement also continued without disruptions and the wheat procurement by government agencies this year surpassed the last year's figures. You are listening to the Midday News on All India Radio. A reminder of the headlines before we move on. Union Home Minister Amit Shah speaks to Chief Ministers, seeks their views on future strategy in fight against COVID-19. COVID recovery rate improves to 42.88%, over 71,000 patients cured so far. A total of 449 domestic flights operated on day 3 of resumption of airline services in the country. Railways appeals to people with comorbidities, pregnant women, children below 10 years and persons above 65 years of age to avoid travel by trains. Over 2 lakh metric tons of food grains lifted by the states for May and June. 20 districts of Rajasthan affected by locust attacks. State administration engage in control activities. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle at AIR News Alerts.
Number of coronavirus cases is increasing day by day in many districts of Maharashtra after many citizens started returning to their respective hometowns. With 9 positive reports this morning, total number of coronavirus affected patients has reached to 112 in Ahmednagar. 6 new patients found in Sindhudurg, taking the toll to 30, and 5 more patients confirmed in Nanded, taking the patients number to 143. A total of 698 coronavirus patients were discharged in Maharashtra during yesterday, taking the number of recovered persons in the state to 18,616. State has reported 2,598 new coronavirus patients, taking the tally of cases in the state to 59,546. With 85 COVID-19 patients dying, 38 of them in Mumbai, the death toll due to the pandemic rose to 1,982. No number of active cases of COVID-19 reached to 38,939. In order to facilitate stranded citizens, a Shramik special train is scheduled to leave for West Bengal from Nanded this afternoon by 4 p.m. Meantime, state government efforts are on to provide relief to all the citizens in the state. A mobile application has been developed in Rajgarh district of Maharashtra to provide food grains to the citizens who do not have ration cards. After observing the usefulness of this mobile app, state government has given instructions to use it in other districts of the state also. More from our Mumbai correspondent.
Easy Forms is a mobile application which is making life easier for citizens in Raigad district of Maharashtra who do not have ration cards. Such needy citizens are being identified through this app with their basic information. Ration distribution shops are providing food grains to all such beneficiaries. Over 1,000 citizens have benefited from this app so far. State government has already approved this app and instructed other districts to use the same. At present, 18 districts in the state are using this app to provide relief to all such citizens who do not have ration cards. Madhuri Pange, AIR News, Mumbai.
Under Vande Bharat mission, 11 flights are arriving today in Kerala, of which 10 flights are from the Middle East.
Flights from Dubai, Muscat and Armenia are scheduled to arrive in Kochi today. 2 flights carrying expatriates will be arriving in Kannur from Dubai and Doha. The capital city Thiruvananthapuram will be receiving passengers from Dubai and Abu Dhabi. 4 flights will be arriving today in Kozhikode from Abu Dhabi, Dubai, Jeddah and Kuwait. Over 1,500 stranded Indian nationals will be reaching Kerala today under the mission. Meanwhile, Kerala reported another COVID-19 death today morning, taking the COVID death toll in the state to 8. The deceased is a 65-year-old who had returned from Dubai on May 11th and was in critical condition at the Government Medical College, Kottayam. Authorities informed that all COVID protocols will be followed in the burial. Presently, 526 active COVID cases are there in the state. Mayusha for AR News from Thiruvananthapuram.
In Gujarat, dry ginger therapy is being used to prevent coronavirus infection while the whole world is looking for ways to fight COVID-19. The renowned Ayurvedacharya and the propagator of Lok Ayurved concept, Dr. Hitesh Jani, is popularizing the use of this simple home remedy to prevent the spread of the virus. Talking to AIR, Dr. Jani said therapy has shown better results in the containment as well as non-containment zones. A report.
The Lok Ayurved teams conducted primary field trials at quarantine Madhapur village of Kutch and then 10 selected streets of Jangleshwar hotspot area of Rajkot. After seeing successful preventive results in these areas, it is distributed to CISF personnel posted at all major airports in the state including Ahmedabad, Rajkot, Vadodara, as well as at Kandla shipping port and Reliance refinery in Jamnagar. Mr. Jani said, "We have to sniff a pinch of dry ginger through both the nostrils minimum once a day and take 1 gram from mouth 2 times a day after meals and swallow it." He said this cleans the mucus, which is the carrier of virus, for taking it inside the respiratory system in nose and oral cavity. It also gives us complete internal cleansing as well as immunity. The dry ginger powder is one of the most accessible preventive therapies which can be followed easily at home. Aparna Khun, AR News, Ahmedabad.
Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath today said that all those migrant workers and labourers who are returning from other parts of the country are the strength of the state, and we are now using the strength for making a new Uttar Pradesh. He was speaking on the occasion of signing of Memorandum of Understanding with industry organizations for employment of 11 lakh workers and labourers. Yogi Adityanath said that in Uttar Pradesh, 94% of industrial units paid wages to their workers during lockdown, irrespective of the fact that they were functional or not. More from our correspondent.
Chief Minister said that there is no time limit for the return of workers, and whoever wants to come back, we will make arrangement for his safe, dignified and free of cost return. The state government has already written letters to other states to provide the list of those migrants who still want to come back. Chief Minister said that with the help of skill mapping, we are working to provide employment to every worker with the motto of Har Haath Ko Kaam, Har Ghar Mein Rozgar. That means work to every hand and employment to every house. Today, MSME Department of State signed MOUs with industry and business chambers for providing 11.5 lakh skilled and semi-skilled manpower. Under this agreement, Indian Industries Association has asked for 5 lakh workers, while National Real Estate Development Council asked for 2.5 lakh. Laghu Udyog Bharati and CII has asked for 2 lakh workers each. A special software is also being prepared for the generation of employment according to the skill of migrant workers and the need of industrial units. Sushil Chandra Tiwari, AIR News, Lucknow.
A massive traffic jam was seen on the road connecting Delhi and Gurugram today morning, a day after the Haryana government decided to seal the routes towards the national capital. A top state government official said, due to concerns over the rising cases of the coronavirus disease COVID-19, Delhi-Gurugram border has been sealed. In Rajasthan, as many as 20 districts are affected by locust attacks. Our correspondent reports that about 90,000 hectares area has been affected due to the locust attacks so far.
The movement of locust is not confined to Rajasthan this time. It has reached in some districts of the neighbouring states Uttar Pradesh and Madhya Pradesh too. Capital Jaipur has also witnessed a locust attack after a long time. The locusts have so far reached about 90,000 hectare area. Agriculture Commissioner Dr. Om Prakash told AIR that locust warning organization and local administration are engaged in locust control activities, and these activities have been carried out in about 70,000 hectare area so far. The use of drones has also been started for this work first time. The Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations has said that the impact of locust attack this time may be just double than last year. Jitendra Dwivedi, AIR News, Jaipur.
President Ramnath Kovind has expressed grief on the demise of Rajya Sabha member and former Union Minister MP Virendra Kumar. Mr. Kovind said a staunch socialist, MP Virendra Kumar enriched the field of journalism and literature by leading the influential Malayalam newspaper Mathrubhumi. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has also expressed grief on the passing away of Rajya Sabha member MP Virendra Kumar. In a tweet, Mr. Modi said MP Virendra Kumar distinguished himself as an effective legislator and parliamentarian, and he believed in giving voice to the poor and underprivileged. Information and Broadcasting Minister Prakash Zavadekar today said the demise of MP Virendra Kumar, the managing director of the leading Malayalam daily Mathrubhumi, was a big loss to the political and journalistic fraternity. Mr. Zavadekar said Virendra Kumar was an erudite politician, socialist, writer and journalist. The minister said, as a Union Labour Minister, Virendra Kumar stood for welfare of the workers, and as Mathrubhumi CMD, he ensured it becomes voice of the people. In our series Experts Speak on All India Radio, we bring you the views of some leading medical experts on COVID-19. Talking to AIR News, senior physician from Safdarjung Hospital, New Delhi, Dr. M.K. Sain said these are testing times. He said the basic rules should be followed even during the lockdown 4.
ये घड़ी एक परीक्षा की घड़ी है। ये वक्त हमें और भी अधिक मात्रा में संयम और सुरक्षा और अनुशासन ये चीजों का ध्यान में रखना है। जो लॉकडाउन के मूल मंत्र हैं, जैसे कि सोशल डिस्टेंसिंग हुआ या स्वच्छता, क्लीनलीनेस, यूज ऑफ मास्क, हैंड वॉशिंग, इसको हमें निरंतर इसका पालन हमें करते रहना होगा।
The News Services Division of All India Radio in its live phone-in program Samvad today will bring you a special program on railways where listeners can ask questions to the experts related to passenger trains on toll-free telephone number 1800-115767. You can also ask questions on telephone number 011-2331-4444 and post queries on our Twitter handle at AIR News Alerts by hashtag AskAIR. This can be heard tonight on FM Gold channel and additional frequencies from 7:10 p.m. onwards. This program will also be available on our website newsonair.com and on our YouTube channel News on AIR Official. You can also listen to us on the News on AIR app.
The Vande Bharat mission is in full swing and phase 2 of the mission is underway till the 13th of June. The government has planned to bring back over 1 lakh stranded Indians from 60 countries by the end of phase 2. Preparations for the third phase likely to commence after mid-June is also underway. External Affairs Ministry spokesman Anurag Srivastava has informed that 45,216 Indians have returned to the country till last evening. These include 8,069 migrant workers, 7,656 students and 5,107 professionals. About 5,000 Indians have returned through land border immigration checkpoints from Nepal and Bangladesh. Now let us take a look at today's weather report.
People in Delhi woke up to a pleasant morning today as last night's showers gave respite from soaring temperatures from the ongoing heat wave. The national capital is expected to have thunderstorms with squalls today. Minimum temperature was recorded at 23 degrees Celsius and maximum is expected to be around 38 degrees. Moving to west, Mumbai may witness partly cloudy sky today. Minimum temperature here was 28 degrees, while maximum temperature will be around 35 degrees Celsius. In the south, Chennai will also see a partly cloudy sky. The temperature will hover between 29 to 39 degrees Celsius. In the east, Kolkata may witness generally cloudy sky with 1 or 2 spells of rain or thunder showers. Minimum temperature in the metropolis witnessed 25 degrees, while maximum will be around 30 degrees Celsius. Meanwhile, under the influence of a western disturbance, there is possibility of rain and thunderstorm at isolated places and very likely over western Himalaya region and adjoining plains till tomorrow. In the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir, minimum temperature was 26 degrees Celsius. In Jammu, maximum temperature here will be around 40 degrees Celsius. The city will observe partly cloudy sky and there is a possibility of rain, thunderstorm or dust storm as well. In Srinagar, the minimum temperature was 13 degrees Celsius while maximum is expected to be around 26 degrees. The city will observe partly cloudy sky with possibility of rain, thunderstorm or dust storm. In Gilgit, the minimum temperature was recorded at 13 degrees while maximum is likely to be 33 degrees Celsius with mainly clear sky, which is likely to turn partly cloudy towards afternoon or evening. In Muzaffarabad, the sky is expected to be partly cloudy with possibility of rain, thunderstorm or dust storm. Minimum temperature was at 19 degrees while the maximum temperature will be around 37 degrees Celsius. Tripti Srivastav, News Desk.
Goa may see the arrival of monsoon season in the first week of June. With a pollution-free atmosphere, there is a formation of a low-pressure area over the southeast and adjoining east-central Arabian Sea during 31st of May to 4th of June. Cricket legend Sachin Tendulkar urged people to honour the efforts of COVID warriors and take all the precautions during the lockdown.
We shouldn't mistake this lockdown for a holiday. The least we can do to honour these brave doctors, nurses and others fighting this war is to follow their instructions. Save yourself, the community, our country and the whole world from this virus.
Social distancing को तुम अपनाओ, COVID-19 से जान न गवाओ.
And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Union Home Minister Amit Shah speaks to Chief Ministers, seeks their views on future strategy in fight against COVID-19. COVID recovery rate improves to 42.88%. Over 71,000 patients cured so far. A total of 494 domestic flights operated on day 3 of resumption of airline services in the country. Railways appeals to people with comorbidities, pregnant women, children below 10 years and persons above 65 years of age to avoid travel by trains. Over 2 lakh metric tons of food grains lifted by the states for May and June. And 20 districts of Rajasthan affected by locust attacks. State administration engage in control activities. And with